Well, hi, Sarah. It's good to have you here in the office again. How you
Thank you.
been?
Pretty well. How about yourself?
Been fine, just working. Um, Anything specific you want to talk about, or you want to just jump in and kind of go over the test results, and we'll do some demographics that normally we would have somebody do as kind of an intake, but we're going to do that here today. So do you want to
Yeah,
do
let's.
intake, or you want to go to the test results?
I'm really interested to see what my test results are.
Let's do that.
All right.
All right, so I gave you those three tests. Inventories. It was the Beck Depression Inventory, the Beck Anxiety Inventory, two very related and similar type of scoring tests developed by the same group. And then there was the MAST, which again is focused mostly on any kind of alcohol or relationship issues that maybe trying to point an arrow at stuff happening. With the Beck Depression Inventory, you score what would be called a 22. It's a scale that's right in the middle. So that would be classified as a low to moderate depression, where the moderate scale is a 21 to 30. So you're right on the lower end of that. Could be some of just stuff going on with you. We'll get into that further. The most noticeable things that came out of that inventory were that you were experiencing a decrease in your concentration or focus and an increase in your tiredness or fatigue. You say that's still true?
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, okay. And the next test we looked at was the Beck Anxiety Inventory. And again, you were right in that moderate anxiety where it's a 0 to 50 kind of scale, and you're at 23 of a 22 to 25, moderate, low to moderate on anxiety. The only thing that was really more remarkable with that was your inability to relax. Is that what you're still experiencing in your day-to-day life too? Okay.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And then the MAST, which scores from 0 to 53, you actually scored an 18 and extremely low. Well, this mostly evaluates your drinking tendencies, is what we were looking at there. And the question setup is not quite as clear, as straightforward yes or no questions. So there's some questions that, well, let's just say they turn on the light of let's look at this a little more. Most remarkably, on the MAST test, you scored high on question number 4, which is cannot stop drinking once you start. So like once you start drinking, you want to drink more and you just don't stop possibly. Right. And then if you say your friends and your relatives are concerned about your drinking also, not just your employer.
Okay. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And on the MAST, you actually scored a full 25% of the questions indicating alcoholic tendencies.
Okay.
So this is concerning. There was the one question about the accident in your past, and that was circling around alcohol at that time. And even though that's been a long time ago, that's still something that turns on the light. With this being said, I'm absolutely not recommending any kind of inpatient treatment. I want you and I to meet some more and talk about your current decisions that you're making and the possible risks that you're putting into your life. Maybe prioritize, help you do some of that. I've got some other tests, maybe as we speak further in the future, that we can look into. They'll help us assess some other things that may be going on in your life that maybe you're not even recognizing. Okay?
Okay. Sounds good.
Now to get to the script stuff, we have to have some demographics. Your name is Sarah Teller. Your age, your date of birth?
It's 9/4/1983, and I'm 35.
You're 35 years old. And you are single, correct?
Yes, correct.
Caucasian.
Yep.
Do you have any siblings?
I have one younger brother.
Are your parents still alive?
Just my dad. Kind of hard to talk about. My mom passed recently.
Uh, there was no abuse or anything detrimental or traumatic within your childhood concerning your parents, was there?
No, nothing that I can recall, no.
Were your parents ever abusive of alcohol or drugs?
My mom definitely liked to drink.
Okay.
No drug use I know of.
Was the drinking associated with cause of death?
It was. She actually passed in a car accident. She had been drinking.
I'm very sorry to hear that.
Thank you.
I want to try and move right beyond that. Family history of heart disease, stroke, cancer, any of that?
Both of my grandparents on my mom's side, my grandmother and my grandfather passed of cancer. Different types, but lung cancer and breast cancer.
Mm-hmm.
And that's it.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing about cancer. They're learning that it's genetic, so it's not, just
Right.
Nothing on your dad's side.
No.
And as far as your medical history, any childhood disorders, diseases diagnosed?
Nope, I'm pretty healthy. I think for the most part, I barely ever see the doctor.
Well, you should go every once in a while, they tell me.
That's true. Probably more often than I do.
Yeah. Are you attending school, going to school, planning on schooling, furthering your career, any of that?
I did take a few classes. It was almost a year ago now. In a psychology program.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't enrolled the past few semesters. I'm not sure if I'm going to continue it or not. My social life is kind of getting in the way of that.
Yeah, I hear that. I hear that. How do you feel about that?
I don't know. I don't know if I really care so much about getting my psychology degree. It was something that I thought of doing pretty much probably out of boredom before I met my boyfriend, reconnected with these friends. And so right now I would just rather kind of rekindle these old friendships and see where this takes me in this relationship and then take it one day at a time.
Yeah. Is he a professional man?
He is. He works at a bank.
A banker or teller?
He's a teller.
No offense either way, just gathering information.
Yeah.
Anything else significant going on in your life that you can think of right now?
It's just really hard to stay focused on going to my job. I just feel like I don't even want to do it anymore. I just, want to take some time off, some time away. Need to relax more.
Sounds like you're just not getting a lot of pleasure out of your work.
Right.
Yeah.
I don't know where I'm headed these days, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm not doing my degree. I'm not happy where I'm at with my job. I just really haven't come up with a plan yet.
Yeah. Do you talk to people about what you want to do? Is your dad available for that, or your brother?
My dad lives in a different state. He travels a lot for work. I don't get to talk to him as much as I want to. My brother, he's more or less just pretty much focused on his own work. He owns his own company, so he lives and breathes his job, and we don't have much time to talk, either. So I don't know. Plus, I don't really know what to talk about because I'm not sure where my life is taking me right now.
Yeah. Sounds like you're just kind of an influx in your life right now.
Yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah. Let's see. What else? I guess what I want to talk to you most about is the reason we're here is you're here on an employee referral. He wanted and you are agreeable to have a professional check and give you opinion of kind of what's going on with you, and listen to you and hear what you're saying. Um, I have to make sure before we go much further that I need to make sure that you're ready to hear the truth of the situation. And from my point of view as a professional counselor, if I go any further, it's possible that I may be saying things that upset or offend you. I just want to be clear with that. And before I continue with talking about further planning, I'd like for you to acknowledge that.
Yeah, I mean, I've made it this far. I'm here, so I'm ready.
Okay. My concerns right now are, of course, your drinking and your lifestyle change that you've recently gone through. You show risky behaviors when drinking historically in your past. I'm concerned with your increased drinking and your lack of motivation, and that your risks are increasing again. From this point forward, I would not recommend, like I said previously, any type of inpatient treatment for you. I would like to recommend that we meet weekly for the next 6 weeks, and during that time, that you and I can come to an agreement about some treatment and some discussions about the behaviors that you're entering back into and how that can affect, and obviously it is affecting your life currently. There's some other assessments as we go I would like to put out to you. There's a quality of life inventory that I'd like to do with you. It's a quick little session. Maybe on the next time we get together, we can do that. Just to help you look at what you're doing and how it makes you feel. There's also this strong interest inventory, which is kind of a longer test. I can have you take that home if you want to go through that way. It's just to help you build. It sounds like you have some questions about what you're going to do in your life moving forward. And the strong interest inventory is directed exactly towards that, helping a person develop a positive focus of direction for what they want to do and what it seems like they like to do. And I also like to do the MMPI, which is just a standardized personality inventory. And just everybody does it just to find out who we are. And then you review the results. None of this further testing is anything that would be released to your employer. This is all private information between you and I. So that's where I'm at in recommendations. I would recommend that we meet for 6 to 8 weeks weekly, continue discussing this, and during that time come up with a plan of action for you moving forward in your drinking and daily activities. And after that's over, I think maybe 6 months worth of every other week us meeting just to make sure that you're still on path. See if we can get these questions that you're having yourself. See if we can get them answered. Does it sound like a plan?
Yeah. I mean, it feels good to have some direction.
Yeah.
With my life being so in flux, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, I won't say your life's in flux. You're just going through some changes. Yeah. But before we go, there's a thing or two here I want to go over. Here I have this is kind of just the standardized drinking, what a drink is, how many drinks a week. And the question is, how many drinks a week do you have? Do you think you're at 7 drinks?
Oh, per week, at least 7.
Yeah.
Probably
that puts you pretty high risk, according to the NIAA. Okay. Again, here, another document. It says alcohol use reducing your risks. And this is the guidelines for substance abuse. Just some things for you to take home with you. We'll have you stop by the front, schedule an appointment for next week, whenever's convenient for you. I'm pretty open. Okay. I think getting together, we're talking these things over. We can help alleviate some of your stresses that you're having. And as far as your employer, what I'm going to release to him is that I have a recommendation for 6 weekly visits continuing and 6 months, twice a month visits. This is going to be my recommendation if you're agreeable.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have to keep my job until I figure something out. So
Okay.
I think he would appreciate that, and I would appreciate it.
Oh, absolutely. I think you're just, yeah, I don't think you're doing anything that's going to be upsetting to your life or detrimental to yourself in any way. I think you're just going through I have some questions about myself phase. And maybe we can work together to help solidify what you think you want to do.
Thank you.
All right.
Agree.
See you next time.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.